Okay, all right, let me go through who we've got here. Chief Safety Officer at MTA, Patrick Warren. SVP for Subways, Sally Librera. EVP for Subways and Chief Operations Officer, Frank Giesecke. Myself, New York City Transit Interim President, Sarah Feinberg. And then we've got Deputy Chief Brian McGee, who is with the Manhattan North Detectives. Right? So, couple of things we want to share. First, absolutely heartbroken to share the news that one of our New York City Transit family members passed away as a result of an incident this morning. As all of you know, this has already been a devastating week for New York City Transit. And this is another horrific moment for our family. I'm going to share the limited details that I have, and of course you can also ask other folks up here questions and Chief McGee questions as well. This morning, a little bit after 3 a.m., a northbound 2 train was entering 110th Street Station behind me. A conductor employee reported smoke and fire on the train. There was communication between employees on the train. 2 employees on the train, one employee who was helping to operate the train and a second employee who happened to be riding as a passenger on the train, successfully evacuated passengers from the train and off of the platform. The fire department was called immediately. There was a second train in the tunnel behind the incident train. The fire department was able to help evacuate those passengers and crew members off that train through the tunnel and through an emergency exit. As you can probably tell, the investigation is very much ongoing at this point. The investigation has been turned over to the NYPD. Chief McGee can answer additional questions about that. For now, we are devastated by this. This is a hard moment for New York City Transit, a devastating incident. Our hearts and prayers are with our family, with our workforce, and with the family and loved ones of our family member who's passed away. The New York City Transit team shows up every day to move people in this city safely and efficiently. They do unbelievable work, and they are heroes. And they are particularly heroes these last few weeks. And it is an honor to be a part of this team and to know them and to work with them and to be a part of what they pull off every day. I'll turn it over to Chief McGee to answer additional questions.
Good morning. I'm Deputy Chief Brian McGee. I'm the commanding officer of Manhattan North Detectives. First and foremost, the NYPD expresses its deepest sympathies for the member of the MTA who lost his life today. The information that I'm about to give you is very, very preliminary, so take that as it is. At about 3:14 this morning, there was a report of smoke and fire on a northbound number 2 train. This train originated out of Flatbush in Brooklyn around 2:15 in the morning. As it reached 110th Street here, an employee that was on the train reported to the motorman that there was heavy smoke and fire coming from the second car. That would be the second car from in the front of the train. The train stopped, and many people got off because there was a large fire on that train. What we do know is that the motorman of that train was found on the tracks, and he was pronounced deceased. Right now we're investigating several things. There were other fires that we're looking at that we have to see is connected to this on 86th Street and 96th Street within the transit system. We're looking at that. We're also looking at a fire on 116th Street as we speak. The most important thing that I need is for witnesses to come forward. 1-800-577-TIPS. We have the best detectives in the world investigating this. Manhattan North Homicide, the 2-8 Squad, the assistants of the Central Robbery Division. We have the best detectives in the world investigating this, but what I really need you to do is to get that message out there that we need people to call that TIPS hotline to give some sort of solace to the family of the deceased.
Let's take questions. I'm not going to share specifics at this time until I have full confidence that his family has been informed and briefed. So I'm just not going to share details at this moment. Hard to tell at this point. I mean, I have been down at the scene, as have others. There's significant damage to the train and to the station, and it'll, we will obviously at some point move the train out of the station to a yard and do an even fuller investigation, and we'll know more later. There are injuries. So in addition to the fatality, look, and I know all of you know this well, early numbers are always changed. And so the numbers that we have now are that there were 9 injuries. I've also frankly heard 14 injuries. And so early numbers are wrong, and we'll have to see how it plays out. They certainly put their lives at risk to get those passengers off. That's what the New York City Transit family does every day. As far as I know, they are not injured.
This is a criminal investigation, absolutely, and we have everybody here. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we have our arson and explosion here that works hand in hand with the ATF, and we are investigating it as a criminal matter. So it looks like there were previous fires on 86th Street and 96th Street, very preliminary. We have investigators there holding them as crime scenes. And the 116th Street is topside, so it's up on the street that we're investigating also. I'm not saying they are connected, but it's something that we have to investigate that more than likely may be. Not in cars, that were on the platforms. I can't hear you. All in the vicinity of 315 this morning.
I don't have anything on that.
I don't have any information on a fire in Jamaica, Queens. There's nobody in custody now. So speaking to Lieutenant Mike Ruzzi and Sergeant Steve Mancini, the arson explosion, it's the second car, so it's the second car from the front, from the driver's side, and there is extensive damage to that car. We believe that's where we believe it originated from. So you could imagine the crime scene down there. It's pretty messy right now, and that's what our investigators are doing. We're waiting for crime scene, and we have to go through that meticulously, so I can't report anything on that now.
We're not going to share information and details like that at this time. Okay. Anybody else? All right, thank you all. Thank you.